Because some motherfuckers would say that you were allowed to leave because you agreed to do their dirty work after you left.
Oh no, I never.
That's what I say. I would say, okay, well, if I broke into here and I was caught and I was questioned, if I was allowed to stay, if I wasn't apprehended, then I kind of agreed to be a fed. I really want to know. So you did sneak into Bohemian Grove?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so what's back there?
Well, it's a 2,700 acre beautiful redwoods.
2,700 acres.
And it looks like Yosemite. It's the biggest redwoods you've ever seen, but there's not tourists. And
what would be the purpose for such a facility or for such a...
Well, the history's known. Mark Twain and others, when they were in San Francisco, bought the land and set it up as an artist retreat. It was very, very liberal. And then William Howard Taft, right around the turn of the last century, about 120 years ago, they came in and bought it. The president bought it with a consortium.
Right. Did they buy it with the American public's money?
No, just a bunch of robber barons bought it.
Okay, gotcha. And
then they threw out a lot of the artists, but kept some of them.
Okay.
And then it was just a place to, let their hair down and do all sorts of stuff. And
also stuff. Just give me an idea.
Even back then there was, gay stuff going on, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Sex.
Because I don't want to.
But they'd also down the road they built a whole camp and stuff where they wouldn't let the women in, but they'd ship in a bunch of hookers. And then they put a railway into it.
So orgies and stuff.
Orgies, yeah.
All right, cool. And I ain't really got no real big problem.
But then over time, they brought a German death cult over, same one they have at Skull and Bones. And
Skull and Bones, the Bilderberg group and such.
Yeah, and which those are a German chancellor came out. Mm-hmm. And he wrote a book, Men in Power is a Political Retrospective.
Right.
For the name of the prime minister, my brain's failing. Mm-hmm. But it's political. Men in Power is a political retrospective.
All right.
He said, we have our own rituals in Germany, but we really like the ones we do out there.
Right.
And so by the turn of not this century, but the century before, about 120 years ago, it became super elite. Expected it still took a few weeks to go across the country from D.C. or New York. So they'd stay sometimes a whole month once they got there.
Okay.
And so the robber barons, the most rich people, and the Rockefellers, all of them started going there. And then they started doing Druidic and Germanic rituals and reportedly even human sacrifice there. And then kids started disappearing in the area. It was being reported, over 100 years ago that kids were missing quite a bit. That they were
missing children seemed to be
the threat.
A repetitive narrative.
Yeah.
So it seems like children or innocents are the fuel to this.
Just like in the new Skeksis Netflix thing that's excellent. They literally take the innocent Gethling and they suck its energy. You say the new what? The new Dark Crystal show.
I haven't seen it.
Is an allegory of exactly what they're doing. So I got contacted by a reporter with Channel 4, and he said, I've got people that work there, and they want it to be exposed, but we can't have the liability. And I know you've snuck into some places, done some investigative reporting on some military drills that we're practicing to round people up and stuff. If we got you a ticket and got you, the inside deal, you can still get arrested by the Secret Service because presidents and people go there. But will you sneak in? And I said yes. So you were prompted by a facility or like a group. Yes, and it turns out. Who was this group again? Turns out it was the Democrats, basically. Because Bohemian Grove is mainly Republican. Okay, go ahead. Let's go. And so I'm like, I'm 45 now. This was in 2000, so I was a lot younger. Okay. And I later learned I was set up. So instead of getting into the occult part of it, let me hit this first. So I sneak in, I get in there. Secret Service questions me. I've been given passcodes to what club I'm in, but still they act suspicious. So I climb under one of these houses, log cabins, until it gets dark. Because
Right.
I'm supposed to be there on July 15th to catch the cremation of care, a mock human sacrifice of a child in front of this giant owl that also doubles as a giant bull, Moloch, where they sacrifice kids in Tyre in the Middle East.
So that owl represents the sacrifice of children.
Yes. Well, and Moloch's also
The same owl that is present in Adult Swim, the same owl that is present even in OVO for Drake and his record label. But that owl, you saying, whether it is knowingly or unbeknownst to the person who uses it, it represents the sacrifice of children.
Well, any symbol could have multiple uses, but it is in the National Press Club symbol, and the press has also gone there secretly. So it's part of them being compromised. And yes, the reason they worship the owl in that particular form, because it can be another thing in Greek mythology, knowledge, and things like that, is that the owl is a bird of prey. America is a bald eagle. And, Iran is an eagle. And everybody likes eagles, okay, because it's up there, it can see, it's smart, you can't see it. The great horned owl is bigger than the bald eagle. It'd kill one. I mean, it's meaner than hell. It's got big old eyes, and it can see in the dark. So, see, it's got knowledge. It can see you like special forces, but you can't see it. You're in the dark. It walks right over and just grabs you and eats you, and you can't do a damn thing. And it kills other birds. It kills eagles at night. Eagles get down on their nest at night. They fear the owls. The owls come in. They hunt other royal birds, as you would call them. So the great horned owl.
What kind of terrain would it be where an owl would hunt an eagle?
A place just like those redwoods. So it's the ultimate predator. But nobody's got the owl as their national symbol.
So in the Bohemian Grove is where owls hunt eagles.
Basically.
Or terrain.
And so it's all a play on that, like, hey, we're the real bird.
I got
we
you.
We only operate in the.
So you think this American bird is the bird you need to be looking at for, but in actuality is really this one.
Yeah, it's saying our national bird is really a great horned owl.
Right.
Twice the size of a bald eagle. And I mean, have you ever seen one?
What did you see when you broke in?
Let me tell you, sometimes in Austin, we've got these great horned owls. You got them here too. You'll be walking sometimes in the woods. You look over at the edge, and there's one sitting up at the top of the tree, up out of the brush, just looking at you. It's got eyes like that big.
Yellow eyes.
Yeah, it looks like Batman. It's scary as hell. But anyways, it's one of the scariest things you ever see is when you look over, you feel it looking, you look over, and there's that great horned owl, those big old yellow eyes.
But that's what you saw.
Well, they've got a 50-foot tall stone one, and they bring a child to it, and then they have the priest all out in front of it.
Did you see it Did you see a child?
Yeah, they brought a child in effigy in.
You saw that?
Yeah, I hid out. I crawled out, but then later I learned what happened.
Wait a minute. Whoa. So you actually hid out, you looked, and you saw a child be brought to a 50-foot statue of an owl.
Well, they said it was a mock child, but yes.
They said it was a mock child.
But the thing is, they put all their troubles on the child, and then the deity, and at that time, Walter Cronkite was still alive. He did the voice. So, but theater all comes from rituals. So theater, the priest would get up and do theater as part of the rituals. So we're in the church, out under the redwoods, around this little pond. They're in front of it.
It was people who broke in with you?
No, there's all the members are watching.
But you said we. You said we were.
No, we're all there. I'm there with the people watching it. And
but you're in hiding.
No, I've come out at night. I get in during the day. They question me. It's still 3 hours till night. I cover it all in my film, Dark Secrets Inside Bohemian Grove. It's free online.
All right.
There's another one called Order of Death that has the latest. And again, people can find it all free. They've tried to take it off YouTube.
So you snuck into Bohemian Grove. You were basically caught and questioned and allowed to stay to witness a ritual.
I was about to say, you're really smart, or did you do your homework? Because you're both. I didn't understand this till later.
Okay.
So yes, I'm given a passcode.
All right.
I think when the Secret Service questions me, that I acted confident they just let me do it. But the truth was they were just going through checking everybody, and they had the head sheriff there and everything. They were looking at me, and they let me go. I climb up underneath a log cabin, wait till it gets dark. Starting to get dark. I come out. They're all feasting under these giant redwood trees.
Feasting? What do you mean? What would they eat?
They're all at big, huge picnic tables under giant redwoods, like a cathedral.
But what would they eat?
Like prettier than any national park you've seen. They're out there eating steaks, whatever. I'm not getting down there with them. I come down out of the hills.
You didn't see what they were eating. Do you know that they weren't eating children?
No. This is all archetypal.
Okay.
This is only the first gate because they bring thousands of guests to this. There's about 1,000 members. They bring about 1,000 guests.
It's 2,700 acres. So,
but let me expand on that.
Basically, the size of a fucking capital city.
Yeah, and so it's a mock human sacrifice. They say
mock human.
Well, and I'll describe that. So,
wait a minute. Who would find it necessary to mock a human sacrifice?
Well, sure, mock has that meaning as well, but mock means simulated.
Okay, who would have it useful to them and beneficial to them?
It's like a mock-up.
To simulate.
Well, they're doing it to see if the guests they've brought are into it.
Huh?
But the members are really getting off on it and going, while they do it, and then they bring in a hearse. They bring in a
So that must mean that
they bring a wagon drawn, a black wagon with a child in a coffin.
Okay,
and then
a live child.
It's an image. I was 150 yards away.
Okay.
In the woods watching this.
Okay.
With the people down below me.
But you were 150 yards away in the woods.
This is like a devil worshiper movie where the kids climb over the hill and watch a human sacrifice.
I understand it.
So this really happened.
I understand that's what you're describing. I'm just trying to clarify for my own understanding. Listen. So you're saying you were 150 yards away, hiding in the woods, watching a mock sacrifice of a simulated sacrifice of a child in a black wagon brought in a casket. All right, I understand that part. Now, what I'm trying to say is earlier you said you were questioned.
Yes.
Okay, so you said you were questioned before the sun went down. Okay, so if you were questioned before the sun went down, how did you end up then 150 yards away in the woods still watching?
That's a good question. I mean, I made the film. There's 2 films. They're free online. Dark Secrets Inside Bohemian Grove. Remember, this is shot from a little hidden camera. It's color back then.
I know that, but I got you here, so I don't need to watch the film. I can just ask you
what
happened.
Here we go. I go up to the end of the road. They've got checkpoints and guards.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a parking area right off here. There's like a little swamp right here.
Right.
Where they have these open back trucks that come and pick people up that work there and take them in or take members.
Right.
I crawl through. I sit there and act like I'm in a car, wait till some of these old men start going to get on the back of this flat back deal. We go rolling through. I'm dressed like a yuppie. They let me get in.
Mm-hmm.
Then I get off. I start walking up the hill. And I had a map that down here was the water and where the Moloch was, the owl. Moloch's also a bull, but has double meanings. I go up in the hills. I'm trying to, get away from folks.
Were you pursued?
Well, I was about to tell you, there some Hispanic gentlemen ride by on a Cushman work cart. They whistle at me, and they say, "Oh yeah." They start laughing, going, "There's one of the." There's one of the prostitutes. I was good looking back then. Yeah, because I was like, 27 years old.
What I'm saying is, listen, they didn't pursue you for being a bogey?
They didn't know. I get in, I get out, I see some guys. Something would happen. Whistle at me. Okay,
because it's whistled at you in the wilderness.
No. It's roads in these woods. So you get in. You get past a checkpoint. Down here's where the owl is.
So you're basically like hiding behind a stop sign.
No, I'm just walking like I own the place.
Dudes
walk by and whistle at me and tell me they want to have sex with me. It's very gay.
Okay.
I get up to the top of the hill.
Okay.
The sheriff, later learn, walks up with Secret Service and they say, "Who are you with?" And I said, "I'm here with I'm here with the hillbillies," and that's actually the camp and the group of the Bushes. I figured I have a Texas accent. They go, "Really?" I go, "Yeah." So I go on up. All of a sudden, I go down a little side road. I see a police car drive by. I say, "I better hide." I climb up underneath one of these log cabins, and I wait till it starts getting dark.
Okay.
Then I get another tape in my little DV cam little deal, my little fanny pack.
Gotcha.
Which is super obvious. You're not going to walk around with this thing. And then I sneak down. I'm going down the hill.
This is not stylish enough. No gay man
Listen, I'm going down the hill. And then I'm going down the hill, and there they are down there with all these big tables. There's photos of this online that they've since released.
I get you.
All eating food under the redwoods. I go down here. I get in position in the woods. They all start leaving. They go around and get around the pool.
Okay. The pool is in like a pool, a swimming pool.
No, it's an artificial. I mean, it's like a pond, a lake right there.
Okay.
It's like a long reflecting pool in front of the owl.
All right.
I kind of hang out. People are already there waiting on the edge.
Is it a fountain?
No, it's a pool. There's bats flying around, grabbing bugs. Absolutely, tons of bats. So there's all these bats flying around eating bugs. It's a beautiful night. The sun's almost down.
It's a beautiful night with tons of bats flying around?
Well, if you go up in Northern California, there's a ton of bats in the summer.
Flying around eating bugs.
If you go to Austin, there's like millions of them.
Okay.
I mean, there's just bats everywhere.
Yes,
so
sir.
There's these,
Continue.
So there's little, they're called Mexican brown bats. That's a species.
Right.
There's all these Mexican brown bats flying around. And I have no species because Austin has a record number of them as well. That's what lives in the southern part of the United States and the West. Okay. And so we're sitting there.
And this is what state?
This is Northern California.
Okay, so
Sonoma County.
Okay, go ahead.
You can go there on July 15th. There'll be a bunch of protesters outside.
You know what? Guess what? I pass.
Well,
go ahead. Let's hear more.
And I'll tell you a story. I'm walking by, and I've told this once, but I don't like promoting this stuff just from either side.
All right.
Danny Glover's there.
Oh, shit.
And he's talking to folks and everything. And then I'm walking by to go down when they're breaking up from the meal to go down to the pool where I know the owl's at. And I hear some old men that look about 98 call him going, "What's that guy bleeping N-word doing here?" So I actually did hear that while I was there.
And Danny Glover heard them say this?
No. I'm like, I'm trying to not be seen here. And there's Danny Glover. And then who was Bill Clinton's top advisor? Later I saw him, one of the most powerful guys in D.C., Jordan, whatever his name was there. Those are the only two black guys I saw. And
but Danny Glover was there, an actor. And
I heard just because I was like, that's Danny Glover. I'm trying to not be seen. I'm in the crowd. Right. And I hear these old men going, bleeping, So I did actually hear some racist stuff there.
Right. But you still saw black people there. So racism,
I saw
racism even exists in like Satanism.
Yes, I mean I'm just telling you.
Even within Satanism,
I'm like, there's Danny. I'm like saying, there's Danny.
That shit to me is bewildering. Even if we have all come together to agree to worship a dark being by the name of Satan, even if we've come to do all of these things, there is still a dividing class, and people still will call me a nigga. We can't just all be Satan worshipers. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think Danny Glover.
Am I not in a superficial, extraterrestrial, outside of my human form being when I become? So I'm still considered a nigga, even when
Tim,
I become.
I only told that story because I get knowing you're being targeted and then wanting to point it out so people stop doing it.
Right.
I'm just getting to the fact that. I only brought that up because it's true, and that was something that happened.
I mean, I appreciate you bringing it up because it provides a certain level of insight.
But listen, I don't want to slander Danny Glover.
No, we're not slandering Danny Glover.
No, you're not.
Because you're not even saying that he's there. I'm going to take it as though you
looked
saw
like Danny Glover.
Someone who looked like Danny
But I want to be clear. I looked it up later. He's an guest. But let me tell you, I knew Charlton Heston. He wasn't bad. And I also love... of course, one of the greatest actors of all time, Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood is a member. What I'm trying to explain is...
What is the purpose of the group? What is
it's
their
all
mission?
Thinly veiled. It was started by Mark Twain.
But what's their mission statement?
So they get all the top actors, and they get the top musicians. The Grateful Dead is played there. And a lot of them aren't getting what this ritual is. It's a Faustian German death cult ritual.
May I ask, what's their mission statement?
Their mission statement is weaving spiders come not here and forget about the cares of the world and do basically a voodoo ritual. But I don't say that from Africa. That's just a common term of where you put something onto something else. Like they used to have spirit sin eaters in old Europe and England where they'd have somebody died, you put a piece of bread on their stomach, and a sin eater would come and believe that they ate some of the sins and take some of the bad mojo. That's basically the same as voodoo. And so they do voodoo there, and it's a ritual where you put all your cares onto this child that you give to the idol, and they take it very seriously. But the way it was described to me is a lot of people that go to it, it's a place to party, hang out, talk about stuff. Not everybody's having sex with dudes. There's a bunch of female hookers.
I'm sure if you want some pussy, if you care about pussy, you can get some.
Well, no, they keep the women in a whole bunch of nice little hotels literally at the end of the street. So about 400 yards down.
But the women aren't invited to the...
No, yeah. But about 400 yards down the street.
You got to leave the ritual to go back and get you some pussy.
There's a golf course, and there's about 10 little motels. And, man, you walk in there, they got jets landing from all over the world. I mean, all the top hookers and porn stars are there.
Yeah.
They're all just 400 yards away.
So let me ask you, why weren't you arrested?
I am not confessing here because I didn't know this till years later. I'm going to tell you. But you saw it, and I'm not kissing your ass, man. I'm impressed because I don't, unless you've heard me tell this before. Did you know that I've explained that I was set up?
I ain't told shit. I ain't heard, no.
Okay, I'm impressed. All right, I only figured this out years later.
All right.
Okay, there's a really nasty dude named John Ronson. I shouldn't even give him attention here. People know he's nasty. Kind of like,
I don't know.
Like if you're entering a harbor, they put a buoy where there's rocks.
I'll bleep his name out.
No. Do what you want. The guy that acts like this fake little liberal loving guy from England and all this stuff.
Yeah.
He's the guy that I'm there covering how everybody got murdered at Waco, and I'm there and 60 Minutes is covering it. This is like in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
He comes up and he goes, Alex, have you heard of Bohemian Grove where they do rituals and all this? And I said, I don't believe all that stuff. Back then, I didn't believe that. And he goes, no, Alex, I'm with World of Wonder Channel 4, and I know a lawyer in the town, and they think you're the one that could blow it wide open. Others have been arrested. Let me give you a file. He gives me this file of all these color copies of magazines and articles for 30 years and all the arrests and CBS flying helicopters over, and nobody can get in. And so he says, well, it'll be in a year. It was actually like 2 years. Okay. But I'll pay you, and I'll get you in, and I know the workers are going to help you. So but then he tells me, you've got to sign an agreement, Alex.
Oh, shit.
That I'm going to sneak in after you if you're successful, but I'll get sued because I'm with the big broadcaster. You've got to videotape it and give it to me and promise to never tell.
That sounds like cap to me.
That's
what we call cap where I'm from.
What's cap?
Can you say cap?
Cap, what is cap?
Cap, C-A-P.
Yeah.
Cap is basically when someone is either lying to get you off of figuring their bullshit out or exaggerating the truth in an excessive manner. That is cap. That's what I feel like what he told you as you described would be.
Well, I didn't figure it out till later because I was like, I don't know, I'm 45 now. In 2000, how old was I? I mean, I was like 25, 26. So
okay.
So I'm going in there, and I've only been on the radio like 4 or 5 years at that time, and I'm just, and so they knew I'd snuck on some military bases and done some stuff, and so they knew I'd gotten footage, and so I go in there, but he comes in behind me with the lawyer, who it turns out was with the group. So this was some weird revelation of the method, but later I thought it was them letting me in. It wasn't. They got really pissed. Turned out Harry Shearer, famous comedian and actor, he was somehow involved with Ronson, and they believe they could only make a movie about it and other things once they had gotten footage, but they wanted to use me as the puppet or the drone or the decoy to go in and get it. So I go in, I get the footage, I get it to them. They put it out all over the world. It's a big hit. And 3 years later, I get calls. He's on C-SPAN with Brian Lamb saying, Alex wasn't the one that snuck in. I'm the one that did it. So then he's on Coast to Coast AM that night, next Art Bell's show.
You think he was potentially there as well while you were there?
No, he was there.
He was, okay.
He made me sign an agreement that he was going to pay me to fly there, give me the contacts, get me in with workers there. But really it was people involved in managing it, but not the members. Okay. It was Democrats in the locals trying to set up the Republicans, hoping I would get dirt on them.
So the Democrats are behind all this?
Or probably MI6.
Oh, okay.
I mean, British.
Well, MI6. What's the difference in MI? So MI6 is the British. That's the British CIA.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the British CIA and the Democrats, they were behind all this.
That is, I know it was a setup, but I mean, tell me what you think.
Okay.
So, and this is a guy that wrote all those movies like Men Who Stare at Goats and a whole bunch of other stuff. But the point is that he's a disinformation operative. So I go in. He says, I'll try to get in later with the lawyer if I'm able. Later that night, after I get out, he comes out and says, no, I was there too. Do you have the footage? And I'm like, yes. Okay. And they're just blown away that it's happened and all the rest of it. And I later thought, they knew I was going in and the Secret Service just let me. But no, I was given real passcodes on the people inside that wanted me to get the footage for another faction to expose this other arm of the cult, where they basically, Epstein takes you to an island to compromise you in weird sex and stuff. They were taking people to Bohemian Grove to compromise them who weren't in the cult yet. So it was basically like a cult feeder. Okay. And so what made me mad about this individual was he made me swear to never say he went in, or that I had a deal to get him the footage from the beginning. And then when it became so famous, he got mad and was like, I made Alex Jones, I made him so famous, which wasn't even true, but it did make me even more famous. It exploded. He then turned around and said, I really snuck in and got it all. Alex Jones didn't, and just basically burned me on that TV show and that radio show. I called into Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. This is like in 2000 and, my God, that's got to be 13 years. That was 2003, 2004, I forget. Yeah, 2003 or 4. You can go find that original Coast to Coast AM if you want. And it's hard to tell stories. There's so much to go over. But
I know
he was on the show saying the same thing, but I knew the show, so I called the producer and said, let me on. Right. He starts apologizing once I get on air with him and said, oh, yeah, Alex, actually, I did pay you to go in there. But he was telling the world that I was a liar and that he had gone and gotten the footage when it's clearly me in the videos and me getting it all.
Guess what? The fact that he admitted that on camera and it's documented, it works to your advantage, doesn't it?
Sure. I just don't think like that, like a snake. And he's the guy that then did this fake NPR story that I beat up all these nerds in high school in Dallas, and then they kidnapped me and tied me up and knocked my teeth out.
Guess what? The moral of the story is he's not here.
Well, the story is a goddamn liar.
But he's not here on expediTIously.
Yeah.
You are.
I understand.
And while you're here, I want to know.
Well, let me ask you that. I want to ask you this question, and you can answer.
All right, come on.
So do you think the Bohemian Grove let me in, or he obviously got me in, but it was another group, a separate group that was wanting dirt on the Republicans because they kept asking me to try to get dirt on them.
You know what?
I'm not defending the Republicans. I'm exposing them right now.
I ain't defending anybody. I ain't defending anybody.
No, I hear you.
But you're asking me to kind of form an opinion.
Well, you smelled it out that I was let in, which I think I was.
I mean, I think that it had to be a reason that, I'm sure they have security. I'm sure they have cameras. I'm sure they have infrared, all kinds of shit that would detect even kind of heat-seeking night vision kind of shit. And I'm sure they have motherfuckers riding around on ATVs.
They do.
And I'm sure that shit is just as secure as the borders.
So what was the point?
You have way more. You have far more experience on the subject than I do.
But I mean, seriously, I was 25 then.
I'd be remiss to even try to guess.
But it took me, that was 19 years ago. It took me 10 years to even figure it out that I was used.
Well, I mean, listen, far be it for me to say what is or isn't, because some motherfuckers would say that you were allowed to leave because you agreed to do their dirty work after you left.
Oh no, I never.
That's what I say. I would say, okay, well, if I broke into here and I was caught and I was questioned, if I was allowed to stay, if I wasn't apprehended, then I kind of agreed to be a fed.
No, I thought I was legitimately sneaking in there, and then I never figured out.
But we ain't talking about you sneaking in. We're talking about how you got out.
I mean, I walked right out the front.
That's what I'm saying. If anybody else was to sneak in somewhere and get caught, I don't think they'd walk out the front.
But see, that's the thing. If I'm working for them, I don't even know it.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, too. That makes a lot of sense. If it wasn't what I just said, it could have been that you were already expected to be there in the first place. But I tell you,
but expanding on
that,
we
could go back and forth about that all day, and we don't really know the answer to it. Because if you can't tell me the answer, I damn sure can't tell you.
All I know is he had passcodes into it, and I got the footage for him so they wouldn't get sued. Mm-hmm. And then he turned around later and then tried to change the story, but it was stupid because everybody saw the footage.
Right.
So it was just bizarre. I don't know. I know that he had contacts with not just the lawyer; it was security.
Okay. Well,
and so yes, somebody in that organization let me in and let me get back out. And people were always saying that.
But did you really sneak in then? Because if they let you in, did you really sneak in?
They have arrested other people. They questioned me. I had the passcode.
That's what I'm telling you. So you knew you had a passcode before you snuck in.
Yeah, no, he said, we've got this lawyer that works there.
So you knew you weren't really sneaking in. You probably could have walked straight through the front gate with the passcode.
No, it was if you got questioned.
So, but if you walk through the front gate and get questioned and you give them this passcode, they grant you entry.
But they didn't question me at the gate.
But you bypassed the gate because you snuck in.
Yes. But there was another gate. Another, like you're driving through and there's more.
So you made it through one gate and then you didn't make it through another gate. Is that what you're saying?
No, we just rolled through the next gate.
Okay, wait.
There's footage of all this.
I know what I'm saying is, because when you tell me you snuck in, that tells me I did not attempt in any form of granted entry. I snuck in over a wall, under a fence.
Sure, I'm the one telling you that I think they let me in. You're convincing yourself of what I just.
I know it, but you know they let you in.
No, I did not. No.
No.
They questioned me and stuff, and I later.
Now, when I say you, it is a like a philosophical you, not you personally, but one would know they have been let in if they cross.
Yes, they came and recruited me through an operative but I'm not sure which group.
But when you actually made your way onto the grounds, if you made your way onto the grounds through a gate, a security protected gate, that would tell me, yeah, you've been let in.
Well, let me go further. There's another chapter.
You didn't sneak in.
You were
let in.
Then Brad Metzler, or Metzer, he has this, that he writes those best-selling books. He's got a show on History Channel. Over a decade later, they say, we want you to go back to Bohemian Grove.
Oh, you went back?
Wait. It was on History Channel, or was it Discovery? And wait. It gets crazier. We're there at this old theater in the town right there, and they've got the original alien from the movie Aliens there. And the guy's wearing a CIA hat, who's the director of the show, and they're doing this big program. I swear to God.
When you said they have the alien from the movie Alien, is this like the real guy? You saying that wasn't wasn't CGI?
They've got the 8-foot rubber suit.
Okay, but you're sure it was a rubber suit?
No, they told me.
You're sure?
I don't. Well, maybe.
But you can't believe what they tell you.
The point is, it was really
obviously you can't
I'm
believe what they tell you.
This was on TV. You can pull it up.
But TV, you can't believe what TV tells you.
And they go, come upstairs, and he goes, I'm the director. And he's got a red hat that says CIA on it. And
so, whoa, he was walking and talking.
No. I walk in. They walk me up this room, and he goes, I'm the director.
And he was a human.
Yeah. And he goes, let's go in here and do the interview. And we walk in, and I sit down to the interview, and there's curtains like that on the wall. He goes, what do you think of this?
And he pulls back the curtain.
And they pull back the curtain, and there's an 8-foot alien from the movie Aliens.
Okay.
Scarier than hell.
Okay.
And he goes, that's the original suit from the movie Alien. What do you think about that?
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, these people are all really creepy.
Well, wait a minute.
They had a full bar downstairs.
I feel like he was testing you to find out if you were creeped out by the 8-foot supposedly plastic.
Well, I'll tell you what's scary now.
It could have been a fucking carcass.
Well, listen, let's go.
It could have been an alien carcass.
Well, listen, let's go further.
Okay.
So then they're shooting all day with me in there.
All right.
And then I go downstairs, there's a full bar, and the bartender starts threatening me. He goes, I played naked bongos with George Herbert Walker Bush there. And you're saying we're satanic? I say F you because the whole town's run by him. It's a cult. And
so there are actually people who live there and work there.
And they all love it. Anyway, so he goes,
what is the
he goes, I know you're sneaking in there.
What's the population of this town?
I don't know. It's on the Russian River.
Above or below 10,000?
It's below 10,000.
Okay.
It's on the Russian River. So this guy says to me,
okay.
He goes, I know you're sneaking in there again today.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I could call him and have you arrested, but I'm not. And then I noticed that the director's laughing at me. So all of a sudden, I get in these canoes with their camera crew, and instead of going
in canoes?
Yeah, instead of going in the front gate, I swear to God, this is all true. There's all video of it. Instead of going the front gate, they want me to go up to the back end of it where I'd shot video before from this overlooking point. Okay? When I went up that hill and hit out. When I came back out, I shot that. And so they keep going, and they're only supposed to show me where I went, how they could go up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they go, no, Alex, you've got to go. Come on. And I went, no, I'm staying below the water line. I'm not violating this place. I'm not going to violate and trespass twice. And as soon as I start walking back, they go, freeze, police, and guys start running down with guns. I go, fuck you. I run, jump into the fucking canoe, run from them.
And don't get shot.
No, listen. They start chasing me.
Don't shoot.
They got cars across the other side.
But don't shoot.
I jump off and swim with my cell phone out, call my crew members to come pick me up.
Right.
Okay, this happened.
No gunshots.
None of it's put in the show.
No gunshots.
Now, the show, they had me running from the police.
Right.
And the security.
Yeah.
They all get arrested but let out the next day.
Right.
And when I saw those
But
people,
no
because they're all
gunshots.
friends with the Bushes, and I already knew this.
Right.
Okay, this guy writes books with the Bushes. I knew what it was.
Okay.
They were literally, this time,
Right.
I guess, pissed at the other group, whatever group that is in the Illuminati, and wanted to bust me.
Okay, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Now, that's my life. It gets weirder.
I got you, but correct me if I'm wrong. Still, no gunshots.
No.
Oh, okay.
But here's the difference.
That is the quintessential definition of white privilege. Because had my motherfucking ass got caught anywhere near there, at the bar, at the gate, in the canoe.
No. The bar is an old theater in town. The bar is an old theater in town.
I don't give a damn where I was.
But listen, aren't these
when you said that that bartender had kind of snarled at you?
Oh, he told me.
That motherfucking bartender would have bust off caps at me, man. That shit would have been, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm telling you is that. I mean, I knew that.
Do you not believe
I knew that
in
Brad
white privilege?
Metzer, or whatever his name is, works with George W.
Do you believe?
It was all a big joke.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you for that insight, because most of us, my people, would not have the opportunity to even, You know what
YouTube's going to do? I want viewers to do this, please.
Okay.
Because I'm not allowed to be on YouTube.
Okay.
Go find the Bohemian Grove special from History or Discovery or whatever it is. Well, somebody type in Alex Jones, Brad Metzer, Mysteries or whatever, and he did shows with the Bushes.
But what you want them to do?
Huh?
What you want the people to do?
I want them to take everything I've said here for this, and you go find the footage and put it to it. I'm not making this up. And somebody can find that old theater with the actual. It's funny you say that.
Trust me, they gonna pick this shit apart.
Because let me tell you,
hear me?
That alien. It's funny you said that. I'm not just kissing your ass. When I looked at that thing, I remember. I don't know why I didn't take a photo. Maybe I have a photo on the phone somewhere. I remember looking at that thing, going, "Man, that looks even scarier than the movie." I was like, "Man, it was really good." And it's the alien from the movie.
Yeah.